the Christmas season is here, and here's some games that maybe you'll be interested in. If you're just not sure what to get for Christmas. Maybe you're trying to get your friend a gift. Maybe you're trying to get yourself a gift. Who knows? But like, here's some things that maybe you can ask for Christmas, because like, here's some games that are really good. I've tested them, I've played them. Just saying, I'm saying my full opinion. Alright, let's start off with Super Mario Party Jamboree. Alright, so Super Mario Party Jamboree is a fantastic game. Fantastic family game. Because playing this game with my family is super fun, super amazing. All the mini games are really good. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff to do. It's just full of laughter, cheerful, and just, you know, fun. Alright, another game that's really good is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Now, Echoes of Wisdom is a game that released later this year. And it is really good. If you like The Legend of Zelda and you like using your imagination to solve puzzles, I guarantee it, you'll like The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Alright, next up, maybe Luigi's Mansion 2. So it's the Ghost Story Adventure game. If you never had a 3DS, you may enjoy this game. It's like similar to Luigi's Mansion 3, but it throws a little spin. Instead of all the missions being played in the same hotel, it's kind of like little minigame missions that you complete it, you go on to the next different stage. So it's a little different than Luigi Mansion 3, but it's still a lot of fun. Alright, so Lego Horizons. Now, Lego Horizons is a Sony IP, which is really cool for it to be on the Nintendo Switch. Now, besides that, it is actually a really good Lego game. It looks beautiful on the Nintendo Switch, and it plays beautiful. It's just a fun overall game. You go out and explore the horizons of the jungle, you know, and you fight your robot mechanical creature things. And you know, overall it's just a good game. So if you haven't played Horizon Lego, maybe for Christmas that would be the time to get it. I'm just saying. Alright, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This game came out last year, and it's still, to me, one of the greatest Mario games, 2D Mario side-scrollers of all time, because you're not really expecting stuff to happen in the game how you're gonna expect to happen, you know? In the game you get Wonder Flowers, and you turn the stuff all weird, because like, hey, it becomes all weird outside, and when you use the Wonder Flower, you get a whole bunch of different power-ups. Everything around you gets changed up. You could be an elephant, you could be a whole bunch of stuff. You could play with your friends and family. You get 4-player, and you could also play online. So overall, just a really fantastic Super Mario Bros. Game. Now, this is really good. It was on sale, I believe, but I'm not sure if it's on sale anymore. Alright, so next up is Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. Now, if you're into hand-to-hand combat where you click the button and you know, you wait for your turn-based combat, that's the one. If you like turn-based combat just like Pokemon, I'm sure you'll like Super Mario or Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door. Instead of catching Pokemon though, you level up Mario and Luigi and his abilities for a better experience. You know, when you defeat an enemy, you get coins, you get to level up your character. Depending on how many coins, you can do more power up, you can just keep going, you get pets and stuff from like, yeah, overall, it's just a really fun experience. Alright, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, these are older games, of course, but Animal Crossing New Horizons still has a lot of stuff to do. It's basically your island adventure game where you're set off on a fun adventure, and during the Christmas period, the game changes with you. So you're gonna see a whole bunch of little lights and snow and snowmans and just a whole lot of stuff around your little Animal Crossing village. You go and you create whatever you want, your dream home. So you can put like make a nice beautiful house, put a table and a chair and a TV and a bed or whatever the case may be. You can do that in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Alright, Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart the booster packs. Now those might come together, they might not together, who knows, but they're pretty good games. They're really good games actually. Mario Kart with the booster pack is the highest Mario Kart game, highest amount of tracks and characters in any single Mario game. This has so many tracks, 48 tracks. That is ridiculous. That is such a high number. And you know, you'll have so much fun playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If you haven't already got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch, this was a must-have from the beginning. This game originally came out on the Wii U, but now it's on the Switch. It's here to stay, and you know, it's one of the better games on the Nintendo Switch. All right, another game that you might find interesting is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, like I previously mentioned with Echoes of Wisdom, Tears of the Kingdom takes that whole adventure and flips it on its head. Now, you can make your own creations, make your own mechanical things with parts and stuff. Like, you can make a plane if you want to, a helicopter, you can make a random buggy or even a bike or a thruster bike. Whatever you want, you can make whatever. Now, the story is so good. It's just such a good story. You know, you and Zelda are pretty much continuing off from the last game, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But anyways, you just follow along the story. It's really good. You get weapons, you get a whole bunch of stuff to fight through the enemies, and there you go. It's just a really fantastic game. Alright, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the prequel to Tears of the Kingdom, and overall, it's a really fantastic game. Because, you know, the story, you get the first part, the prologue, I guess, of Tears of the Kingdom, and you're just, you know, you get to experience the world. You get weapons that you eventually break, but that forces you to go and get more weapons and stuff. The story is amazing, and, you know, everything you can do in the game is still really good. You can also get the DLC, which is Trial of the Sword, and also the, what's the other one? The Champion DLC. You get two DLCs, they come together, and overall, it's just a really good game. I love Trial of the Sword because it really challenges you to use your imagination and how you want to do these plays. Alright, next up is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are about 2 years old, and to this point, they're still pretty good games. Now, there's a couple bugs and glitches in the games still, but overall, they're just really fantastic games that, you know, you really get to take the open world aspects of video games and just go with it. Because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet opens that up to like the next level. Now, you do have to go and get little beast things to be able to pretty much use your full potential, but about straight off the game, after you're gone in class for about an hour, you have the entire world to explore without any restrictions, besides being able to climb, swim, and also fly. But besides that, you can walk around with your 2 legs and just keep going. And it's a really fantastic game. I suggest, hey, if you haven't already, pick up Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's a really good Pokemon game if you like catching Pokemon, if you like shiny hunting, if you like doing all that typical Pokemon stuff. It's a pretty good game for that. Alright, now, next game. I'm not quite sure if you'll enjoy this one quite as much, but Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Now, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl pretty much take the original Gen 4 games and flip them around, and to this day, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are still pretty good games because, hey, you can re-experience the original Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch. So overall, just a fun and fantastic experience for that reason. Now, you can beat the game, you can do all that Pokemon stuff, and afterwards, you can get yourself legendary Pokemon from each generation. Now, for that, you will have to do a little bit of grinding to get these pink little ball things. But, hey, pretty good Christmas present. Gives you something to do. You can, you know, catch your Pokemon and stuff. But there is a Pokemon game coming out soon called Pokemon Legends ZA. It's supposed to be coming out in 2025. So, I don't know. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl? Who knows? Alright, another game that is really fun is Pokemon Legends Arceus. This game is kind of like the open world like Scarlet and Violet, but separated into areas. So you can explore the plains of, not quite sure what they're called, but the plains where different Pokemon spawn. Then you can go off to a little bit of a deserty thing that different Pokemon from the desert regions spawn all around there. And for each area, there is a pretty good story where you're trying to get to Arceus, but you have to defeat these different Frenzy Noble Pokemon before you get there. So, you can go catch things, and it's not even like the same battle mechanic as any other Pokemon game. You can just throw the ball and catch the Pokemon with ease because you got the Pokeball. Or if they don't want to catch, you could go in and battle it and, try to knock its health down. But overall, Pokemon Legends Arceus is a really good game. ZA is going to be pretty much a sequel, so hey, maybe now's the time to pick up Legends Arceus to test it out. See if you like it before Pokemon Legends ZA. Alright. Alright, Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Now, Kirby in the Forgotten Land is another really fantastic game because Kirby is usually a two-dimensional kind of game, but this time, he's 3D. And you play the entire game 3D, not full open world, but linear and 3D. And you can upgrade your power-ups, so usually if you're using the Flame Kirby, and he can only be the Flame Kirby with the flame on his head, you can upgrade that and you can make it purple flame on his head with wings, because that's a dragon one, and it's really, really cool. You upgrade his power-ups, you get a whole bunch of stuff, scrolls and whatever the case may be, you get that, and you upgrade him to his maximum amount of levels, a maximum amount of power. It's really, really fun. If you haven't played Kirby in the Forgotten Land yet, I would say, hey, get Kirby in the Forgotten Land. They're really, really fun games. I'm just saying, they're really fun games. So just test it out. Alright, next up would be Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Alright, this game is actually a really good game. Now, if you haven't played 3D World on the Wii U, it's pretty much the same. But Bowser's Fury, on the other hand, takes this thing to a whole different level. It's fully open world, so the entire map is open world, and Bowser, every about 30 minutes or whatever, Bowser's going to come out of the ground and he's going to start attacking you, and you have to get bells to stop his reign of terror. But, overall it makes the game really fun and chaotic. Bowser's Fury is such a good experience. Now, if you're just getting it for Bowser's Fury, the game's only about 5 hours-ish, so hey, that's up to you if you want Bowser's Fury. It's a pretty fun game. I really, really love Bowser's Fury. Now, the original base Mario, it didn't really change from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, but it's still a really good game. It's still a reasonably good game. You follow your traditional 3D Mario things. You go from left to right, essentially, and overall, it's not fully open world like Bowser's Fury. It's just level mission to mission to mission until you get that done. Alright, next up is another game that I find pretty interesting, pretty okay, pretty fun, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now, this game might not be for you, but if you're into the deep story that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom gave you, this game right here brings you the story. Now, the gameplay itself isn't actually that good, but if you're specifically playing it for the story, my goodness, this game right here has at least 2 hours of story, and it's really good. The story, in fact, in the game is really, really amazing. It really describes every single character before they get to Breath of the Wild and then end up in Tears of the Kingdom. You really get to see that full experience. Now, you can play as characters that you haven't really played as because they were stuck in, Breath of the Wild, but you can play them in Age of Calamity and see how they balance out. It's pretty interesting. I really like it. Mipha's probably one of my favorites, but I also use Link a lot. Hey, you can test out whatever you want. It's pretty, really, really, really cool. That's a pretty good Christmas gift. Alright, next up is another Pokemon game, Pokemon Sword and Shield, but they're both like different games. Alright, Pokemon Sword and Shield, they are kind of like the pair, Sword and then Shield, they're like the twin pair. You enter the Galar region, you catch a whole bunch of Pokemon. It's kind of like a original game. It's not fully open world, but it's kind of open world. You get the wild area, and then it's more like you go and you stick to a linear path. But overall, these games are really fun. Now, there is a DLC which brings you Crown Tundra and the Isle of Armor. Those are DLCs. So, what you do, you essentially get that, and Crown Tundra is a place to go and shiny hunt legendaries. This is a really fantastic Christmas gift because, you know, it's really fun. But the only problem is, it's a little bit old. The games are originally from 2019, so it's a little bit of an older game, but overall, it's just a fun, pretty fantastic game, I think. The story is decent, and also the legendaries, the Pokemon that they introduced in this region are also really good. They're pretty good. They're, you know, they're cool. All right. Next up is Super Mario Maker 2. Now, Super Mario Maker 2, another one of those pretty good games. Now, what you do in Super Mario Maker 2 is you build essentially whatever you want. If you're into Mario, I suggest this game. This game is pretty good because you can build whatever you want. If you wanted to make a level with 10 Bowsers, go right ahead. You can make that level. If you want to put bullet bills or whatever and just make a super hard, confusing level, hey, it's right up to you. Whatever the case may be, you can have fun in Super Mario Maker 2. You can also try out different people's level. They made levels across the world. You can try it out, and overall, it's just a really fun and fantastic, amazing game. Nintendo's also made you levels, and some of them are pretty hard, actually. Alright, next up, we're going back to another Pokemon game, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. These games are personally one of my favorite games because of the fact that the art style looks so beautiful. This game is actually just beautiful. And, you know, you kind of take the catching mechanics from Pokemon Go and you put them to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And, you know, instead of just clicking in a button to throw the ball, you get to actually lunge your arm forward and throw the ball. And it's really, really fun. I really like this. It kind of brings back the original vibes of Pokemon because you can take your Pokeball out, or the Pokemon out of the Pokeball, walk around with them, catch things, battle things, do Team Rocket, do all of this stuff. And it's like a remix of the original Generation 1 game. Overall, this is one of my favorite Pokemon games. Hey, if you haven't already, consider checking it out. It's a pretty good game. Alright, next up is Super Mario Odyssey. Now, oh boy, I thought I would have forgot about you, Super Mario Odyssey. Anyways, this game is a really fun, fantastic game. Remember how we're talking about open world and kind of linear open world games? This has got you for that. It's completely 3D. You get yourself your little cap, which you can turn into whatever you want. If you wanted to be a bullet barrel and fly around the desert in Mario Odyssey, you can go ahead and do that. Being a bullet barrel is actually really fun because you can fly anywhere you want. You could be a turtle, you could be a lightning ball thingy, you can even be a T-Rex. So if you haven't already, Super Mario Odyssey is such a fantastic 3D Mario game. This is actually one of my favorite 3D Mario games. It's such a good one. So if you haven't already, Christmas would be a perfect time for Super Mario Odyssey. Alright, next, Pokemon Snap. Now this is not your typical Pokemon game. It's not, you know, going out there to catch things, battle things. If you like to look at the Pokemon universe and, you know, just experience how it is to be a Pokemon, you're kind of doing that because you're inside of this little ball and you're going around the map and you're taking pictures of Pokemon. Now, it may not sound that fun, but trust me, it's pretty addicting because, you know, you see different Pokemon in different regions. You're trying to get the Mewtwo, you're trying to get the Mew, and overall, you're just looking around taking pictures. I got this one, I got this one, I got the best picture. Look at that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. If you haven't already, test out Pokemon Snap. It's a pretty interesting, good game. Alright, next up would be The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Now, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD originally released on the Nintendo Wii, and that, to me, is not the best place to play it because the Wii controller just like, went all over the place, and overall it's a pretty fantastic game because like you're there. This is the first ever Legend of Zelda game. If you're not sure what the timeline is, test out this game. It's a really fun game because you really gotta see the entire timeline of the Legend of Zelda series, and what it really has to offer. So overall, it's a really fun game. You know, it's kind of repetitive just a little bit because you're going back and forth to the same world. But besides that, I think that it's a really fun and amazing game because, you know, you're really experiencing, you're really going to the bare bones of The Legend of Zelda. Of course, it's not the first game, but it is the first in the timeline. You're there to rebuild the Master Sword, the sword that seals the darkness. Overall, I think it's a fun game. Alright, Splatoon 3. The paint, splat, and paintball game. Yes, that game is pretty fun because, you know, you're going around, you're shooting paint, and you know how you're like, oh, don't make a mess. You're making a mess because, like, you're trying to cover the other territory to get the most paint down on the ground of your color. If you're blue and you're going against yellow, make sure that blue wins. You gotta paint everything blue. It's pretty cool. Try it out. Yeah. So, yeah, with that being said, these are some games that I find really good. I played all of them or tried them out. Anyways, what do you think about this? Do you think that, hey, these are some pretty good games. I'll consider getting these for someone or myself or whatever for Christmas. That is perfect. This is a perfect list. I'll be making another list of games about maybe the cheaper option. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is a good thing? Do you think that this is not the game's not that great? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And with that being said, see you in the next one.